Bob, budget committee. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's forget the microphone is somewhere else. All right, roll call. We have Steve Reckle,
Here.
Steve Hoyt,
Here,
Tim Thompson.
Here.
He's here. Jim is here, and Mark is here. Randy was able to talk with MMA, and we come to find out there's not a state statute that says that we are not prohibited for having members that are not here to watch the town meeting and then review the meeting minutes and vote on them. So he has suggested that we take a vote to allow that, to allow our committee, to allow members to review the videos and then review the meeting minutes so they can vote on them at the next meeting. So can I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to allow committee members to watch LRTV prior to and be active in the vote for minutes. Does that make sense?
Yep. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Well, the only reason we're doing this is because last week we had a situation where we couldn't approve the minutes because we didn't have enough people there
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Correct.
And then we just needed to wait till we had enough members of the committee here to accept the minutes of the people that attended the meeting. I don't see a need to change our policy. It was a one-time situation. I mean, I don't even understand why somebody would want to vote on accepting the minutes if they didn't attend the meeting.
No, and I mean, I guess the question is what happens if we don't ever have enough committee members to approve the meeting minutes? They just don't get approved.
If we don't have enough committee members to approve the minutes, then we don't have a quorum. We wouldn't have a quorum.
Right, and if
So
nothing's
then we
being
wouldn't have a
voted on
meeting.
that day.
Right, nothing would be voted on because we wouldn't have a quorum. We wouldn't be able to do anything that day.
Right, and on 90% of these days we don't, because we only have one meeting day where we discuss and vote.
I don't see the need to
So the
change.
question is, does it really matter?
Doesn't.
So how do we clear out the February 4th meeting minutes?
We have enough people there that attended that meeting.
We don't, there was only 3.
Right. 3 is a quorum.
3 is a quorum, or 4 is a quorum.
No, because we don't have 7 members. We have a vacancy,
Gotcha, okay.
right?
Okay then, so the 3 of us that were here on February 4th, can we vote on those meeting minutes?
Yeah, because that constituted a quorum that night. Yeah, yes.
No.
We had to wait because he was absent. That's why we couldn't vote on him that night.
Got it.
Remember?
No, clearly I don't.
He was absent. That's why we couldn't vote on him that night.
Okay, so can we vote?
First of all, we have a motion on the floor to change, to
Yes.
allow members who were not at the meeting to watch the meeting. Do we have them sign an affidavit that said they watched the meeting? I'm joking.
I think you just have to vote that you watched the meeting. You'd have to voice that too.
Right.
That's it.
But anyways, you have a motion on the floor and second to do that.
So then do you want to vote on it, or do we just?
Yeah, you have a motion and second, you have to vote on it.
Okay, so all in favor to vote for it to change the policy? We got 4 ayes, 2. Anyone opposed? Sustained?
Yeah, I'm sorry, opposed.
Okay, so 1 opposed, 1 abstained, 4 in favor. So it passes. On the big vote. All right, so the February 4th meeting minutes. The motion to approve the February 4th meeting minutes.
I make a motion, we approve February 4th, February 11th, and February 18th.
Jim wants to go home.
Yeah, went well.
Well, might as well, now they can vote even if weren't at the meeting, so also approve them.
They watched the video.
Right.
All right, you want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I didn't watch,
Pass.
so.
You get to it.
Have any old business?
Nope, that was the old business.
All right, new business. Randy, I'd like to take fire first. If you have anything on fire that you want to go over with us, we can do fire first.
Okay. Justin has a presentation for you, so we'll walk through this.
So we prepared a little 12-slide, just overview of the department. My plan was to go over this. I can take questions during or after, and then we'll go through the budget. A little bit about the department. We offer 24/7, 365 coverage. That is done by 3 shifts during the day with per diem staffing, 3 shifts during the evening with per diem staffing, and my deputy chief and myself Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. The goal is to have a medic on 24/7, 365. That's the goal. Doesn't always happen. And then the rest of the time, backup calls that require additional manpower is broken up by the call company. The stations, I've heard people talk about the need of a new fire station. I'm not proposing that. The building we have works. The building was built in the 50s. We've updated, we've repaired. It's an ongoing process, but it works. The only thing that building is limiting us on is nighttime staffing. We're out of bedrooms, but at this point, I'm not putting any more people on at nighttime, so that's not a concern. And we do share half of the District 3 station with Public Works. To be honest, I would rather have all the stuff under one roof up here, but we just don't have the room. So that's really the reason those 2 trucks are over there. The apparatus, did these guys get the capital replacement?
Not yet, no.
Okay. All this stuff's in there. We have 2 ambulances. One's a 2020, that's our newest. The oldest one's a 2016. We have 2 Class A pumpers. One's a 24, one's a 2008. We have a ladder truck, that's a 2009. A brush truck, that's a 2012. Utility truck, a 2022. The tank truck is a 2003. The Chief's command car is a 2020, and the safe boat is a 2004. Over the last 4 years, this is what this pie graph shows. No secret to anyone, EMS is majority of our call volume. We do respond to a fair amount of fires, and then the rest is broken up to either alarms, false alarms, CO calls, that sort of thing. How we respond during the day, the average medical call, all 3 of them will respond. If it's deemed a BLS call, then a BLS crew will take it and our ALS will stay in town. If the call's deemed ALS, the medic will, or advanced provider will transport to the hospital, and we'll just send one of the crew members back. During the week, with the deputy chief and I, that leaves 3 back at the station. 2, either him or I and the other employee can take the ambulance for the second call, or we can staff the fire truck to respond to a fire or what have you, but that's usually what happens. The call company is a major part of the fire department. We cannot do what we need to do with the per diem and the full-time staff that we have. There's just not enough of us. 17 years ago, when I first started here in Naples, when I responded to the station, I couldn't get a seat on the truck. That's how many people we had. Today, the truck leaves with 1 or 2 guys. It just shows the trend going forward as we go in time. There's less and less people available to volunteer their time to come out to calls. We do have a steady group, 8 to 10 of them that respond to most all of the calls that they need to. But they are one job away from not being able to respond or moving out of town or what have you. This graph shows automatic aid received and given. The little red stars where it says Bridgeton and United, it was a mess up on my part when I built the system. I should have put United below Bridgeton. When they click what town they either went to or came to us, to choose United, you had to scroll down through, and I don't think our guys were doing that. If we went to Bridgeton to cover a United call, they just hit Bridgeton. So those 2 numbers are skewed, and it would take a little bit of research to figure out the exact number, but in transparency, that's why those are like that.
Can you back up? Do we have a copy of this presentation?
We can get it to you.
Yeah, okay. So if I understand this chart correctly, Sebago, we received 7 mutual aids from Sebago, yet we gave 29.
Yep.
Is that how you read these?
Yep.
Okay. And then United Ambulance should be added with Bridgeton.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so it might be duplication.
What I'm afraid of
It might be
is
duplication.
some of the 30 that's listed in Bridgeton may actually
Okay,
be
yep.
United.
Gotcha.
It would take some research
Okay.
to get that number.
Yep.
Is this EMS and fire combined?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. On the asks this year was the replacement of Rescue 7 or Ambulance 7.
Do you want me to go to that slide?
Nope.
Okay.
It's at its 10-year replacement. That's what we've been doing with the past replacements. We've had some issues, a fair amount of issues with it, but I believe we've got them fixed to a point. I'm confident in the truck.
Sorry, Justin, I have an emergency at home. I want to step out for just
Yep.
a second.
The next one that will be due will be the tank truck, and there's some internal discussions on combining another 2 trucks for one like we did with engine 4 and engine 5 this last go around. Instead of having an engine and a tank, we've thrown the idea around of maybe a pumper tanker. And then the ladder truck is obviously a major purchase. Our ladder truck does everything we need it to do. We haven't needed any more out of it that it wouldn't do. And I would be in favor of getting that truck refurbished instead of buying a new one. Off to the side are just some pictures of some items we've gotten through AFG grants, air packs, hoses, thermal cameras, AEDs. Last year or 2 years ago, Cumberland County received money for radio upgrades. We did a one-for-one swap with the radios that fit the bill for them. And we replaced a lot of our radios.
Are most towns trading in their ambulances in 10 years? That seems early to me.
Most of them are a lot sooner than that.
But what's the reasoning behind it?
Not having to fix it. They can't afford the downtime.
I know we sat on 2 fire trucks for a long time.
Yep.
You gonna trade this in?
This is going, we're not sitting on this. This is gonna be a trade-in.
Okay.
I'm not going down that road again.
Okay. Are they decent number trade-in, or is it take back?
I don't know. The truck's in good enough shape, I would think it would bring some money, but I was wrong about the last one, and I'll admit that. Yeah. I'm not gonna skirt around that.
I didn't even bring it up.
I knew you were gonna, so I figured I'd be.
No, I wasn't gonna.
But the plan would be to trade that and get rid of it. Rescue 8, the newest one, is set up to be a remount, so when we replace that in 2030, if we stay on track, we'll reuse the box and just buy a new chassis. Yeah. When we were having all the issues with this one, Autotronics, they were not interested in remounting that body. Yeah, I kind of talked about this slide already.
Get back to the staffing. You said you guys have, like, in the evenings, like 3 people at the house?
Yep.
Full time?
Yep. Well, they're per diem. They're scheduled.
Okay. And
Yep.
what's the protocol if a structure fire is called in? Like, what's the protocol of
In town or out of town?
Excuse me?
In the town of Naples.
Yes.
2 will respond. 2 will respond with the engine. The crew on the ambulance for that night will split, and they will join the engine operator. So the engine leaves with 2, and the ambulance will go with 1.
Okay.
Obviously, they know if there's a guy that's injured in the driveway, that person takes priority, and they tend to the medical side of
I
things.
just didn't know if you were waiting for a lot more people to come in before you even leave, or...
No.
Probably know what I'm getting at.
No, if there's 3 of them there, they're not gonna wait. They're gonna go. We'll pick up the pieces down the road. If it's out of town, the 3rd guy, so the guy on the engine for the evening, will respond out of town with the call members, but they have to wait until call members respond to the station. They will never go by themselves.
Last April, my house got struck by lightning.
Yep.
Caught fire.
Yep.
And you guys were like 45 minutes. I'm 2 miles from the base, so I was just wondering, I don't know what happened that night, if it was, didn't have the right address or something.
I can look into it. I don't think it was 45 from when we received the call,
Yeah.
but I'll look into that.
Yeah, I had put the fire out
If I
myself.
remember right, that night you were on.
It was 10 o'clock at night on a Friday or Saturday.
There was a storm, the lightning storm.
Lightning storm,
Yeah, we were all over.
Yeah.
We were thin.
So you were already out? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, I handled it, whatever, but
I'll look into it.
yeah, I just didn't know what the issue was.
I would say that's a rare occurrence.
I think so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But I think there was several lightning strikes right in our neighborhood.
Yeah. I want to say crews we were either in Sebago or in Casco
Yeah.
for a fire as
Okay.
well.
You actually had to call Bridget.
I think Bridgeton came down, yes.
Yeah,
They
they did, yeah.
So that's why. I guess.
All right, I never got the follow-up on it, so I was just curious. Thanks.
On top of the ambulance, I would like to add, the last couple of years since I've been chief and presenting budgets, I've tossed the idea of adding full-time employees and transitioning out of per diem. I would be lying to you all if I said the per diem model was sustainable. It is not. We do the best we can with what we have, but there are downfalls to that. Knowing the cost associated with that, what I would like to do is add a fourth person during the daytime on the weekends. A lot of our call guys are busy with their families, sports games, yada, yada, yada. And we need the extra coverage during the day. Nighttime, I'm not too worried about it. A lot of the guys are home. A lot easier for them to respond than it is during the day.
You want to do that 52 weeks a year, summertime?
The number that's presented is 52 weeks.
So is this why the payroll number's going up by over 100,000?
It's part of it.
Can you explain, whenever you're done, can you explain the payroll?
Yep.
What?
Sure.
Why is it 106,000 more? What's the components of that?
So, I left increase in pay for myself and the deputy chief to the manager. I was not involved with that. If you look down under payroll EMS, you'll see firefighter EMT 8,760 hours. The 10,008 hours is the 2 weekend shifts included. We use that advanced pay as middle ground. I don't have a crystal ball to tell you if I'll have a basic working that shift or a medic, so I just chose the middle of the road on that.
So that's where the increase comes?
Well, part of it.
The 2 weekend days?
Yeah, I still have more to go.
Oh, okay.
We are medic heavy at this point in time. There are days where we have 2 medics, 3 medics on. The way these budgets have worked over the past several years is we budget for a basic, an advanced, and a medic. That almost never happens. You either have 3 basics, or you have 3 medics, or 2 medics and a basic. So we included, down at the bottom, it says additional medic pay, that 49,000. What I proposed to the finance director was to eliminate the advanced pay and budget for 2 medics and a basic, comparable to what we actually have for staffing.
And isn't a medic, you mean a paramedic?
Paramedic, yes, sir.
So if the 49,000 is additional, where is the reduction? Eliminating the advance pay? Or is that the difference?
It's there's more pay for the medic, so it's added to.
So this is the addition?
Yes. And then
So between the weekend hours that you want to add and adding the medic pay, that's how the 100,000 comes out?
Yeah.
It's about 50 for each one of them?
Yeah, and then you got another 19,000 for the weekend shift differential. I had to account for that because the 2 days fall on the weekend.
Yep, okay.
Going down through what I changed, obviously the finance director can speak towards workman's comp and insurance and all that. What I changed, we're $1,000 lower in the medical director. Our medical director we had for years passed away. We've hired a new lady, and I was able to get her a little bit cheaper. Down on the bottom of the first page, the non-consumables, that number looks skewed because that number was a carry forward at the end of last year. All of our turnout gear and nozzles, and there was a bunch of stuff we couldn't get in time. Uniforms increased, $1,000. Just the price of everything has skyrocketed. That's about all I got. I'll take any questions you guys got.
Can you give us a list of the calls this year versus last year, last 3
yep.
years? Do you have that?
Yep. I don't have the actual sheet from the computer, but I wrote them down.
Ambulance versus fire?
Oh, I just have a total, I have a grand total.
You don't have broke down what
I don't.
type of calls? Okay.
I can get it.
Yeah.
But
So
I don't.
Basically, going off your chart, you're 70% EMS.
Yep.
So just,
Yep.
So what are the total calls this year?
This year so far, we're at 117 for 26.
What was it last year?
25 was 892,
And the year before that?
983. And that is contributed to a couple of storms. So storms will rack up.
so you're averaging 2.5 calls.
We're averaging 3 calls a day.
How come your EMS director doesn't do all the billing?
What do you mean?
So you have $22,000 budgeted for somebody to do all your medical billing. We have an EMS director, how come they're not handling it?
$2,000.
$22,000, your last item billing,
Yeah, that goes to a third party.
how come?
It always has. We're not in the business of sending a bill. They
But doing 2.5, 3 calls a day, what's the EMS director doing all day long?
lots of stuff. Scheduling, Bureau of Labor Standards, paperwork, OSHA stuff, dealing with Maine EMS. The notion that he sits in his office and doesn't do anything all day is wrong.
I've dealt with 3 different ambulance services, so
Everyone in
over
the
the last
county
couple of
uses
years, they all use third-party billing. Part of it is so that they do the billing properly, because if you don't bill properly, then it gets held up and you don't get your money collection. So
So
much smaller services use third-party billing.
are we only billing on transport, or are we billing every time the thing goes out?
We bill on transport
How come we're not billing to show up?
because the taxpayers are paying us $1.5 million. We owe them something.
But if they were getting billed to show up on a non-transport call, it would take the burden off the taxpayers. If we're gonna pay an outside firm $22,000, we should be billing on every call.
I would say we do bill most every call. Can you give an example of when we don't?
Today, you went to a call and you didn't transport.
Yep.
You can't go to the emergency room without getting a bill.
We're not in emergency room. And we're not in this for profit.
I understand that you're not in it for a profit, but it would take it off, burden off the taxpayer.
If you would like to charge the taxpayer for everything we do, I'm under the assumption that the taxpayers would like something back. And this is how I can do that.
And I can see that.
We
point
can
of it.
charge for every single call we go to like other towns, and that can create a mess. And I'm trying to not create a mess.
And I do understand that part of it too, but, I mean, it's a lot of money at the end of the day, across the board. With everything going on in this town, it's a lot of money.
Do you know how much money we collect in billing compared to what we pay?
She stepped up. How much revenue is coming in?
Just shy of 200,000.
Just shy of 200,000.
Yes, sir.
Other towns charge for every call?
Some towns will charge for a fire response, yes.
So like and it like.
I don't feel that that's right, but
It's like it aggravates me like your car crash. You guys show up, do what you gotta do, cut the person out.
if there's extrication, we will charge.
Okay.
There are certain things we will charge.
The tow truck driver is the one benefiting between the tow, the storage, all that. And
Well, I don't control the tow truck.
I just, that part aggravates me because I do feel like you guys should be able to charge an insurance company for that.
The money that we charge does not go back to our budget.
Steve?
So I'd just like to say, because I have been involved in fire and EMS in a different town, and I help out here, but Justin can verify with me, but it's a real pain in the tail when 60% of your people are Maine Care. Maine Care doesn't want to pay for.
They don't want to do anything.
They're not gonna pay for a non-transport. They're just not.
We have a hard enough time collecting what we've
Right.
done for our
Right.
transport.
And if you charge $150 for a non-transport, I can guarantee you Maine Care is not gonna pay that. And that's probably 60% of your,
Probably.
Any other questions for the chief?
Justin, you and I have talked quite a bit. Can you just expand a little bit more on kind of what the state of the state is with per diems and what the challenges are around that?
The challenge is, and we've witnessed it firsthand with a few of our guys. People grow up, they start families, they're after the benefits. As soon as a job opens up with benefits, they're off. It's a vicious cycle. I don't really have anything to keep people here. It's more of a stepping stone. We take someone new off the street, we train them, get them to a level that we can put them out on the street. They do it for a year or two, and then they're off. It's a cost of doing business. It's not sustainable. The per diems that we have are working 3 or 4 other jobs. We had a chiefs meeting last night with all the area chiefs we hosted here in Naples. You look around the room at the different chiefs and we all share the same employees. So when one person leaves here to go to a larger city, it not only affects us, but it affects them. And then they change their model, whether they offer full-time or more money. If they offer more money, then we're behind the ball and we're playing catch-up, whack-a-mole, if you will. It's a vicious cycle.
Do all the towns around us pay the same percentage of
We
insurance?
are at a point right now where we are all within a few cents of each other.
Yeah, the hourly per diem.
The hourly per diem.
What about the benefits?
The
Are
benefits?
they all at 90% like we are?
Yes.
There's nobody less than that?
No.
Wyndham's 100 for single.
Yes.
Huh?
Wyndham's 100 for single.
They pay 100%?
Casco's the same way.
100% for
But then what do they do for family?
75
Okay, 75 for
family.
all out.
And then 75 for family and 100% for single.
I have a slide on it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for the chief?
Your new ambulance, are you in the process of getting quotes? How you?
We ventured down that path, and then I was told about the situation we're in, so I stopped. I wanted to feel the temperature of you guys before we wasted our time speccing a truck and then the vendor's time going through pricing and all that. The price that I gave you was from the town of Casco. Same truck that I would be looking at, just with a little less bells and whistles. So I just used that number for a ballpark to get the conversation started.
Now, like I know the new fire truck came with the galvanized frame.
Yeah.
Can you do that on an ambulance to buy a couple more years out of it?
That I don't know. I think they're just how they come from the manufacturer. I don't know if Ford or Ram coming out with a galvanized frame.
So you're gonna stick with that 550 chassis?
Probably, yes.
Now,
The
I'm just-
chassis of the truck has been fine. We've had no chassis issues. The issues that we've had with Rescue 7 have been upfitter issues. Wiring, a lot of loose ends.
Are you gonna go gas or diesel or?
I would like to go gas, but I would like to drive one first, because there is a difference in the ride for the patient. But I'm not ruling out gas with the amount of emissions issues that we've had.
and those do get fluid film. All the trucks.
All the trucks get fuel.
I've seen your trucks, they're not in horrible shape.
It's not as far as the rescue, it's not a rust.
My thing
It's
about that,
mileage.
asking about the galvanized is, well, yeah, if it bought 5 years, go from 10 years to 15 years on truck, is it gonna be worth it
Sure.
to do it?
I've never seen an ambulance with a galvanized frame, but I'm also not out there looking for them, so.
Yeah. I've never seen a fire truck that way either, so.
Any other questions for the chief? All right. Thank you, chief.
Yep.
What's next, Randy?
Yeah, I was gonna go through. a
Did you
couple of-
want to break down fire and EMS calls?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I want to go through a couple of things from prior meetings before we moved on. So you were just asking this question. If you look at, like Naples, we pay 90% for the employee only, and then we pay 75% for the family adder. So if you look at the cost of the policy, first thing we do, if it's a family policy, is we subtract out the employee portion of it, and we only pay 10% of that. 90% of that.
Yeah.
And then what's left over, then we pay 75% of that, the employee pays 25. So just to clarify that. And same way that we do the salary surveys, we do benefit surveys too, to just, what you're trying to do is not, ideally you're average, right? You don't want to be gold plated, but you don't want to be bottom of the list either. And if you look here, 2 of the towns pay 100%, 1 town paid 93 and 1 paid 80 for an average of 93, and we pay 90. If you look at the employee plus the family plan, so there's different strata in there. So there's employee plus spouse, employee plus children, and then employee and a full family. I'm just going all the way to the other end. You'll see some data on everything in between in a minute. But we pay 75%, and there's a town, and the Pier 1 on these, when you look at it, it's the same town. So Pier 1 there pays 50, 2 pays 80, 3 pays 87, 4 pays 60 for an average of 69. But if you drop out the 50, which seems to be unusual compared to everybody else, you'd be at 75.6%, which is roughly where we're at. So from are we paying competitively with other towns around us? The answer to that question is yes. And then this is a little bit of a eye chart, but Pat gave this to you, but we were talking about how much it was going up this year. And so the top section up there is what we're currently paying. And then as of July 1, right? Yeah, July 1, we've been told to expect an 18%. We don't have any final numbers yet. So we're factoring in 18%. And that increase there is 28.5, so that's how much insurance is going up. But there's a caveat in there. We're currently raising 100% of the deductible cost, and we're not using it all. So what we did this year to help lower the cost of the budget was to say, okay, this year we'll only raise 80%. And that's how we get down to 28. Now, the plan is, assuming I get approval from the select board, is anything that's left over, I'd like to put it into a reserve fund. And then every year, all we're raising is what we used. We're not trying to raise 100%. If we use 20, we only need to raise 20. If we use 40, we have to raise 40, right? But right now, at the end of the year, anything we don't use washes into the undesignated fund account. And from what I can tell, we don't do much in the way of carryovers in Naples. So that would be a way to, if we did that with a couple of key accounts, that and legal are the two that jump out at me. It'll help in the future.
So if I understand this correctly, the budget that we've been reviewing and been submitted to us is based on an 80% user rate on all these insurance increases?
80% usage of the HRA benefit,
The deductible part.
yeah. Our personnel policy allows for 4,000 and 8,000, 4,000 for individual, 8,000 for family. And so
So the insurance cost for the town for this year is budgeted to be $445,000.
The current budget
Current
year
year that we're in.
that we're in.
Yeah.
And the budget that you have submitted to us is based on 473,000. How come the individual insurance numbers we've been looking at each night for the last 3 weeks is much higher than that?
It's not.
It's not.
That's what's in there.
And the other thing is,
So
too,
there's only a $26,000 increase?
Yes, because currently we're budgeted to raise 100% of usage of the HRA.
Okay.
And this year,
yeah,
it wasn't realistic. We have never spent that much.
Right.
The last numbers I looked at, we spent, I think it was like around 40%. However, we've recently transitioned to a system where the insurance company automatically submits claims to the HRA for reimbursement for us. And the national average for that, for usage of that, is about 60%. So to be on the safe side, you don't want to undercut. You just never know. You don't know, you cannot predict people's medical needs or their family's medical needs. So I didn't want to budget based on the national average, and I didn't want to necessarily budget 100%, which most towns do, by the way. But to save a little money, we budgeted safely at 80%.
All right. So you guys are pushing to have this a 60-40 split. How much more are you gonna give all your employees a pay increase?
We're not pushing for that.
We
That
are
was
not.
something that
It's in here.
Samantha requested, and I provided her those numbers.
I'm getting.
Those bottom two numbers were just requested.
Okay.
They were requested, and some of them is a 300% increase for some people on their, on the employees.
You'll see it in a minute.
Yeah, he's getting to that.
Well, I think we are. There we go.
I think we are.
I wanted to show you, so the other thing we did is, okay, what do other towns do? And so when you look at our peer group, most of them are using MMA. We're not, we're going through a broker. Naples does something a little different. And on there, they have, I use two plans. I use the opposite ends of the spectrum for them. There's something called an Acadia plan. And if you look at it, the deductible is zero and the maximum out of pocket for a person is $1,750. So it's a pretty nice plan. And then the other end, they have something called the Pemaquid plan. And that, quite frankly, is more like what we have. It's the 2,500 to 5,000. Ours is higher than that. And then when you look at the family, we're higher still than what they have here. But it was the closest that they had available. And if you look at those, if we had the Acadia plan, that would be 507 versus the 473. So there's a pretty good savings there. And then on the Pemaquid plan, that's 487.
So that's still 14,000 cheaper.
Right. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make here is, what I did with this chart is, Sam asked about the 60-40, and there was different ways to interpret what Sam asked for. So I said, well, what if we, and the way I was interpreting it, she was saying we'll pay 60% of the employee and 40% of the family. So I just moved down in 5% increments to show what the impact would be, cost of the town, which is in the first orange column. And then in the last column, family, we have a lot of people that have some level of a family plan. And if you look at where they're at right now, they're at 115, that's gonna go up to 136, so that's the first two. Most right-hand column, top two rows. And then if you go all the way down on the right-hand column to the bottom row, if we went to a 60-40 plan, it would cost them $362 a week.
How many employees are they gonna lose because of that?
All of them?
Yeah,
Quite a few.
So why are we even having this discussion?
we're not, we're providing data.
Data was requested and I provided it.
Right. Any questions on this spreadsheet?
No.
We're good.
Okay. So then the other thing I wanted to talk about is shrinking the accounting department, okay? So after we got out of here last time, I said, okay, I'm just gonna Google it. What is the minimum number of accounting team members to maintain government accounting requirements? And the answer came back, small government entities, such as small towns, districts, or authorities, can maintain compliance with GASB, which is the governmental accounting standards, with a minimum of 2 to 3 people.
Is that you're talking about adding a second finance director, right?
Nope, this is about taking somebody away. And what I wanted to do was say, okay, well, first thing we need to do, like we've seen at what Google says, 2 to 3. And the reason it would be 2 or 3 is you should separate accounts receivable from accounts payable from the controller, which is the person that makes sure the reconciliations are correct and watches the other 2. And that's generally why it's a pyramid of, it's a triangle of 3. And the issue that we have with trying to make any changes is we're unable right now to accurately report our financial position in a timely fashion due to inaccuracies in our data. And those inaccuracies go back years. And the problem we have is, even though we've added resources, we've got resources to take care of what's happening today. We don't have resources to go back and fix what happened yesterday. And it's taking us a while. I've been here, it'll be a year in May, and we've completed 1 audit. I'm not sure if we'll get a second one done, and we're pouring on the resources to get it done. So that's how far behind we are. And the root cause of it is the accounting team was not adequately staffed for a period of time, and we've asked too much from too few. Mistakes happened. We lacked the resources to find and fix in a timely fashion, and the problem snowballed. And one of the, I'm not trying to embarrass anybody here, but one of the latest comments from the auditor was, things are more messed up than they thought, and they're taking them longer to help us get our books in order for 2024. So, now the good news is on the corrective actions, we did add a second person 2 years ago, so that's Pat. And we are trying to catch up, it's just taking time. We are making progress, but a lot slower than any of us would like, but it's the reality of the situation. And the other thing we have done is the auditor gave us a template for financial controls, and it's pretty in-depth. And we've taken that, modified it to match what we need in Naples, and we haven't had the opportunity to finish polishing it, but when we're done, we're going to give it back to the auditor, get his blessing, and then we'll bring that to the select board, and we'll have a new financial controls policy, which will, in detail, say who should be doing what, when, what frequency, the whole thing. So the recommendation from me is leave the staffing levels as they are. Reductions would likely make the current situation worse. And improper financial controls is how people get embezzlements, right? I started as a selectman as an embezzlement was discovered 18 years ago. And they weren't doing separation of duties, and people weren't paying attention. And that lady got convicted of a felony and went to jail. And I've also, in my private business, we had somebody create a fake, an HR manager created a fake company, and they were paying bills to the fake company. And then I also had a CEO steal some money, pay himself benefits. So it happens, and that's why you can't prevent it. I got some really good advice one time. You can't prevent people from thieving. Once they make the decision that they're going to do it, you can't stop that. All you can do is catch them and catch them fast. And you do that through your controls. So I want to talk about that. And then going back and looking at the meeting minutes, there was some comments about the ACO vehicle, so I wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page with this. Everybody should know by now that the prior vehicle that we had bought, used, was totaled in a bad accident. And I asked Steve to look for a new vehicle, and I specifically didn't want to go with a used vehicle because the last one, as soon as we bought it, we started putting money into it. And we're not in the business of fixing vehicles up, right? They need to run. So I decided to go forward with the lease purchase. It's been done before, and Steve found a suitable vehicle at a dealership. I executed the lease purchase agreement, and I placed a document for the select board. You'll see them. They get documents to sign in the files, and I had one in there for them to sign. And just to be perfectly clear, Ted wasn't even involved in the process. So there's been some accusations about Ted around that, and I wanted to set the record
The accident
clear.
was not at fault too, correct?
What's that?
The accident was not at fault too, correct?
No, it wasn't his fault.
Okay. No, it was not.
No. And lucky somebody didn't die in that accident, so. I think that's all I had. Any questions on any of that?
Any questions from anybody? All right,
All right,
what are we doing next?
marine safety. We're moving pretty fast, Jim. We'll be out of here.
Even board for
Oh,
all.
I'm here. What's that? What'd you say?
Say good evening.
Oh.
What number is marine safety?
Well, there's a new one.
44.
44.
Number one.
So I get the total budget's up 10,000, just highlight what the increases are, I guess. I mean, most of these are the same numbers as last year or lower, so. Like the 3,800 under salaries is new, 200 hours for training.
Right.
What's that?
So I asked to consider a 200-hour increase. The way the model is right now, we're based on a 40-hour week times 19 weeks. That's how they come up with that salary number. It doesn't really reflect surge operations, 4th of July, boat parades, all that stuff where you're having more than one crew on at a time. It doesn't account for training where you have crews in to pay them. So essentially what it is, the model is set up for patrol hours. But we're not doing 760 hours on the boat per year. Because right now we're at just short of 400 for the year. A lot of that, we have to account for maintenance, training, multiple people on. Like I said,
So this is gonna put more hours on the water, is what you're saying?
It's going to put more hours in payroll for non-patrol activity, maintenance training, essentially.
Oh, okay. So this increase is not gonna put any more hours on the water? The boat's not gonna be on the water any more hours?
Well, hours are hours. So what we don't use up in training and maintenance, yeah, we'll translate into patrol. And necessarily on the water, we do road patrol, we do walking patrols, we do, the truck, we drive around, do area fam. So it's payroll, it's man hours to use. Because right now, our staff's gonna go down this year a little bit, but we're looking at a 5-man crew, 5-person crew. Dividing that up by 40 hours, somebody's getting 10 hours a week. It's not enough to keep them coming back. It's under $150 a week. That's tough motivation to keep somebody coming back to work. So, we're looking at, 50 hours a week, dividing that up amongst 3 crew, 4 crew, and kind of offsetting that. We'll figure all that stuff out, but it's work hours, man hours.
Have we heard from game warden? Are they gonna be able?
Not yet, I do have that.
Okay.
You mentioned that to me.
Yep.
Just to clarify, in order to do those training hours and boat maintenance hours and things like that, that took away from time on the water, right? Hours are hours.
Hours are hours, right? So when they built the budget based on 40 hours, 40 patrol hours, which I think in the mindset was 40 underway hours per week. And that is not achieved. I don't think it was ever been achieved. We didn't achieve that. So actually boat hours were at 390-ish. I didn't get the current number. That was as of September 1st. We did the last maintenance on it. So that didn't count the October fireworks displays and all that kind of stuff. So, you got to figure for 2 hours we're getting paid or budgeted, 1 hour's maintenance, training, admin, other standby, and then half of that is on water patrol. You look at bad weather day, where the crewman is not underway, they may be sitting in the office on a radio waiting for a call, like a high readiness response, or walking through town, or down at the locks, visiting with boaters, at the boat ramps,
so on and so forth. So,
Yep. Any questions from everybody all set? I assume the electricity is because you're breaking down the electric bill now, so they'd be in charge for their portion?
Yeah.
Because there was no budget for last year, and
Yeah, each building has a meter, so that's how that's done.
Does this department generate any revenue?
no, we got a small contribution for that Christmas in July event. We got a percentage of that, and I think that model is changing this year, and I'm not really up to speed on what that is. But we don't solicit. I know in the past they've solicited donations, and they had an association that solicited donations. I don't do any of that.
That's been, if you don't mind, that's been taken over by the events committee. So the
Yeah.
events committee is gonna be doing Christmas in July parade now on.
I think his question was, we get revenue from mooring fees.
We do.
Well, that's see, that's hard to
This is,
So that's for revenue, right?
yeah, but see, like, I don't understand, like, marine safety, I consider marine safety Kent's Landing, that shouldn't be in Steve's budget. That,
What do you mean?
like, if you're gonna be marine safety, your boat inspector down there, that's marine, there's,
That is not, that has nothing to do with it.
No.
but that's where it should be.
No, it should not. That's not where that should be. It's a courtesy boat inspection. It has nothing to do with life safety of that boat. He deals with life safety of a boat. This is,
But there's
you
not,
got a flower on your trailer. That's what these guys are doing. That has nothing, Kent's Landing has nothing to do with it. And you're talking 260 boats that went in there, that's not a revenue to you.
No, and the harbor master generates the revenue from moorings.
Right.
If it does, yeah.
So, you get a stipend every year.
Yep.
Are you also creating a run number? Because we had a prior supervisor that would go in every day and create a run number and double dip.
I don't understand what you're asking me.
Are you, when you go to the office,
Yep.
are you collecting an hourly pay plus a stipend?
I collect the normal pay rate when I patrol.
On the boat or whatnot?
Yeah,
You're not doing admin work at an hourly pay?
No, and I've never seen this rate, but here's my understanding. Here's the model pump runs over it. That stipend is paid for responsibility for leadership, the management of the operation. That's all the admin, that's all the
Correct.
organizational stuff, that's the liaisoning with the town and the communication and all that. That's, when I go on patrol, or if I'm doing maintenance above and beyond a washdown, I'm charging the town an hourly rate for that.
Makes sense.
is anybody in your department gonna get a blue pen so they can write tickets that are gonna hold up?
Blue pen.
It's not
That-
just get
that's-
a blue pen, there's a whole lot more to it.
So,
Town has to get certified.
when I took the job last year, these questions came up. So I went to the district court in Bridgeton and asked for the process, the procedures. We're good. Authority and jurisdiction is clear in the ordinance. The training and the certification is not clear, although it does specifically talk about the harbor master's duties, responsibilities. In accordance with the MSRA, the harbor master, Thurston, goes up to the Maine Harbor Masters Association's boondoggle training, gets the certification. So it's gray. We're under that department. We can write a violation for specific town ordinance, violations of state law. Signed by Thurston, drop them off at district court. That process works. I'm not comfortable with that, and I'll tell you why. I did law enforcement 30 years. You don't do a little bit of law enforcement, you didn't do it all, you do none. So we were asked to change the culture of the Marine Safety Division, from which was a pseudo self-authorized law enforcement agency, wannabe law enforcement agency, to now we're Marine Safety Advocates. Although we didn't write anything last year. But, yeah, that's the answer to your question, I guess, is we can. That procedure is still probably being dialed in. Unless somebody else, I think we've kind of been through that.
Yeah.
With the blue lights on the boat, we're not armed in any way. So that is what it is.
Any other questions for the? All right, you can take over again.
Sorry, we're coming in late. Did we ask about the payments that weren't collected last year?
No, that's under harbor, that's under the harbor master.
Okay, where are we at?
What's the question?
The marinas, the donations.
Marina fees.
Okay, so, on the moorings, we have been collecting on them, so I heard that last time, that wasn't accurate.
Okay, so those have been collected?
Huh?
The moorings were collected?
Yes.
And then what about the marinas?
The mariners were not, and we started doing a search trying to find out where we got the authority to do that. It's not in the ordinance, there's no fee set for it. We found a couple of emails that went back and forth, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not comfortable doing that. The ordinance needs to be modified to specifically say that we're gonna charge for docks, and then there needs to be a fee set for it, so that when we go forward, we got something to point to. It was murky.
Okay.
Whether it was murky or not, we had a committee that set up, we had a, the hell was the name of that committee? Waterfront Committee?
It was just before me.
Yeah.
Guys are working on
We had a committee, and we were gonna institute a dock fee, because a mooring and a dock is the same thing.
I would say so.
Yeah, nobody can argue the difference. You park a boat there during the summer, whether it's a mooring or a dock. The marinas got together, the 4 marinas got together and agreed to pay the town a fee each year. And they paid it and we collected it for 2 years. Then all of a sudden, there was a changeover of town managers and everything, and it slipped through the cracks. So it was established, it was collected, there's a paper trail for it. The fact that it wasn't written into an ordinance,
The paper trail on it is really weak. That's what we went looking for. We looked at,
I'm talking about the paper trail for collecting the fee for 2 years. You have the revenues, it was in the budget.
yeah, we have the revenues,
Okay.
but we can't find letters or anything. And
Find an invoice.
no, and it's under, they were called donations and a bunch of things. And it was like, I can't tell you what the proper process is, and the people that did it are no longer here.
Do we charge for a personal dock at your house?
No,
We charge it.
we charge the mooring fee, the mooring that you have. That's how you
In
do it.
order to get a dock at your house, you have to have a permit, so that's, we're charging you a fee in
Right.
order to, yes.
So if we're charging a personnel for a
And
dock, why are
it's
we not
everything.
charging
If
marina?
there's a boat parked on a dock, it needs to be, it just can't be because there's one dock that's got 50 boats on it that they're gonna pay the same as a homeowner. It needs to be, if there's 50 boats on a dock, it's 50 fingers.
Yeah, per boat slip.
Yeah, it's per boat slip.
But anyways, what has to happen is the select board has to instruct the ordinance committee. It's a simple fix, change the definition of a mooring to include a boat slip.
Correct.
And then it's solved. It literally can be done in 2 sentences. But in the meantime, if the marinas were approached, I'm sure from what I understand, you've collected 2 out of the 4 checks. In fact, you've already collected one for next year's budget or this year's budget.
No, we were looking at last year's numbers.
Yeah?
Last year's numbers before Sean left, we had collected. For FY '25, we had collected, I think, maybe 3 out of 4, maybe all 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just looked at,
And then FY '26, have you collected anything?
No.
and it's all new marina owners and we
Well, that's
don't,
the new marina owners is recent. So what's changed is we had a new harbor master or marine safety person who didn't call those marinas like Sean used to do to remind them to send in the donation. That's what's changed.
well, that's what we're.
Town managers changed.
That's an assumption. We have no idea what the process was, and there was no transfer of information on how that worked
Okay.
from him to anybody else.
So then should we be taking that $16,000 out of our revenues then?
Yes, I did it already.
Well,
Okay. Can
we
we get it?
can go ahead and take the 16 out, but hopefully the select board is gonna put in, instruct the ordinance committee, so come July 1st, we're gonna have an ordinance and there's gonna be a greater number in this.
Agreed. But if we're, so we're looking at the accurate numbers that we're gonna be proposing to the select board.
Right, you can't throw hypothetical numbers out there,
Right.
not until there's an ordinance in effect.
Right, and if right now we're sitting at, as there's no ordinance, therefore we're not collecting, right?
Correct.
Then we shouldn't have it in here.
We already said we pulled it already.
Yeah, I pulled it, I have to print you guys an updated.
Yeah, so
There's
it's not other
there's
stuff.
been some other changes, and I'll give you guys some updated copies.
Okay.
next
And just for the record, all the offsetting revenue is theoretical, right? It's what we think we're gonna collect in the next fiscal year, and then we're saying we're taking a piece of that to offset the taxes. So all of it is theoretical.
I
But it's
understand that, but
educated
if it's
guessing.
theoretical, we just need to have the numbers that we think we're
Yeah.
that are as accurate as we think it is. And if the numbers we're looking at, we already know is 60,000 less, but it's in our book. We just need to have the right numbers. All right, sorry for just stepping back in. So we are all set on any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. ACO?
All you gotta do is change the definition.
Yeah.
Which is, especially struggling. Yeah.
Set. So Pat handed out a sheet tonight with some notes on it. I have a couple more changes. Trying to get this number under 100,000. I want to remove the $2,500 that was requested for a computer upgrade. The one that I was using is a dinosaur, in the words of our computer technician, and Steve was able to locate a newer one for me, so I already have it, so we can remove that $2,500. And the consumable supplies line, want to change that from 300 down to 200, bringing the new total to $99,067. And Jim's question of where the increase, it's in salary and insurance.
How many calls did you go to last year?
I've been doing this since July 1st. I called dispatch today, and we're at 116. I'll tell you that my number is different than that, because if they reopen a call, meaning I have to go back another day for another instance, they don't count that. Reopening a call is not counted according to Cumberland County, but I keep track of that, and I'm at 132 calls since July 1st.
All 132 in Naples, or is it?
Yeah, well, no. I did assist Bridgeton one night, and there was another one I picked up someplace for a deputy. They had a traffic stop, and they won't leave an animal in the car. I went to Sebago to pick that one up. And the Bridgeton call was the same instance. They couldn't get a hold of their animal control officer, and Bridgeton PD had the situation.
So last year you had a budget of $1,100 for uniforms. And this year you need $750 for uniforms, but you've been on this job for less than a year. Do you
This
need
is-
that much money for uniforms?
This is for next year. So this,
Right.
the
but last year-
$1,100 will cover us until June 30th, and then the $700 will be for the following year.
Right, but you've been on for less than a year. So starting at the beginning, so July 1st, when you hit 1 year, you're gonna have $1,800 for uniforms?
No,
Yes.
$700 will be for the whole complete next year, July 1st to June 30th. That doesn't mean I'm gonna spend $1,800 on July 1st.
What do you really need for uniforms?
We-
What's your uniform?
We buy shirts and sweatshirts and a jacket. And no, I won't need a new jacket next year. This one will last, and that's part of the reduction.
So you think we can cut that 750 down?
Down to what?
I'm asking if you think we can cut that 750 down?
We can try. I mean, I can rip a shirt on one call. In fact, a dog did bite me on the belly this year, and it did rip a shirt. So it can happen anytime. He didn't break my skin, but he ripped my shirt.
So like 250? How much is a shirt?
Well, this sweatshirt was 80, and I got 3 of them. That's 240.
Okay. How much shirt?
A shirt was, I can't remember what a t-shirt's are.
$32.
$32, there you go.
We buy the same.
Samantha, I mean,
Well,
I know I know what you're trying to do, but like nickel and diamond, a decent pair of boots now is $250. I'm not trying to.
Semantics on $750.
Well,
Nickel and diamond something, and it's not worth it.
So let's nickel and dime it. This is a brand new position, started at $93,000. That started because we were at $43,000 when we were being split, or $35,000 being split. And we went from a $42,000 wages to $49,000 wages, and now we're coming back down to 99.
He's not even taking a 3% raise this year, which is a typical cost of living.
It hasn't been a year.
So, Ted, is there
I
any?
understand what you're saying, as far as the 43 to 100 and whatever.
And we're at
The taxpayers
113
spoke.
calls.
The taxpayers spoke.
This is going to be another Marine Patrol
No,
safety
Teddy,
situation.
so going forward, like I know the former animal control officer covers multiple towns. Can we pull some of those contracts with other towns to help with this budget, cut this budget?
So I have spoken to Randy, and I've given him 4 towns that we should try to contact and see if they're willing to cost share with us.
Okay.
The one in Casco now is only doing 2. And it's the same situation.
I know one of the
two
towns-
is wanting to get out.
Dispatch is calling me after 5 o'clock at night to see if I
So-
will help.
And
But are you going to help,
I answer every call.
even if it's outside of Naples?
If it's, no, not necessarily, only if they need somebody right now, like, again, this police situation, if they stop a vehicle and it's got an animal in it, they can't leave the animal in that car. Somebody's got to take care of it. I've gotten those calls, and I will go on those calls.
Right.
But as far as a missing dog, no, I'm not going to another town, but I answer the call. Even that's dispatch, I've answered 100% of the calls in the town of Naples since July 1st.
which is a year ago what the townspeople.
Now, I want to be a little more clear on the uniforms, Tim, you brought up a good point. The only thing that has come out of this budget is if it says town of Naples on it. I buy my pants, I buy my boots, I buy my underwear, I buy my socks.
Which, if you don't use it, it gets put back into the general fund anyways.
Right.
I'm all set.
now, your budget going up, is that also because like you did get the new car? I know that the insurance didn't pay for all
No,
of it.
so vehicle maintenance went down because we have warrant, how long is it covered, Steve?
I get a 5-year warranty on that truck.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I see you got $500 in here for
Yeah,
maintenance,
it
and I'm
was
assuming that's
2,000.
tires.
It
And
was.
I'm assuming the $500 is tires.
I won't wear out
Well,
tires.
I still gotta do oil changes on it, guy.
We didn't buy an
At
electric one.
$100 an oil change, I still gotta do it.
I won't buy tires this year.
No.
We won't put that many miles on. That's for the, yeah, oil changes, filters, that type of stuff that Steve does.
$500 ain't gonna cover us on tires.
No, not even close. Not even, I don't know if it's like
Jesus, Jiffy Lube, $39, you can get an oil change, Steve.
You deal with just calls for dogs or
All of them.
Does that come with a
cats,
Bluetooth?
Yeah.
snakes, whatever?
Snakes? No.
Well, I don't know.
Deer in the road, dead deer.
I don't do the dead.
No,
If the
dead
deer's
deer
dead,
comes out of maintenance, guy.
No, honestly,
I'm the dead deer guy?
Yeah, we're the dead
I
deer.
don't understand what your responsibilities are. I just don't know.
So it's dogs at large,
Yeah.
dog bites,
Yeah.
which we have a fair number of dog bites in the town of Naples.
Yeah.
Cats, yeah, cats that come up missing. I've got one that I'm trying to trap right now as we speak. I've trapped 2 this year.
Mostly domesticated animals.
Yes,
obviously.
that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you did get phone calls on a donkey and a horse.
I did,
You did know.
I did.
Donkey.
They were loose. And Steve happened to know who the owner was, luckily, and Steve and I worked pretty well together, and he called the owner and said, hey, go get your animals out of the road.
Running around the neighborhood.
Yeah, it wasn't 2 horses, it was a donkey and a horse.
We need pictures of these things.
Yeah, you're right in another town.
Yeah, as long as it's close by. The problem is last time the person didn't answer the phone.
And still doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Where's the typo?
I'm just asking, is our insurance company Anthem?
Yes,
I thought it was somebody different.
Healthcare, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
it used to be.
It used to be Harvard Pilgrim, we switched to Anthem in August last year.
Because they were
He's
cheaper.
the only one that put Anthem on any of it.
Yeah, because they were cheaper. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
It's the end of the agenda.
They've done some research behind the scenes for me. Your reported building fire was on May 17th of 2025.
Yeah.
The time we received the call was 9:36 PM.
Yeah.
The time that my first lieutenant and the engine crew was on scene was 9:47. When the fire was deemed out and in overhaul, and at that point he sent all the other responding units to station coverage, was 10:05. So I'm not sure where the 45-minute response came from.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't like 10 or 12 minutes, but whatever, it's fine.
Those are time stamped right from the
Yeah.
CAD from the time you guys placed the call, so.
Yeah.
If you think it was extended time on the 911 side of it, I can research that as
Well,
well.
I had to run down the road because you guys had stopped at.
There was
Alonzo's.
multiple houses on that
Yeah,
road
yeah.
that got struck that night, yes.
Okay.
Follow up for you.
Thank you.
My house was on fire. I would have thought 1 minute was an hour too.
Yeah.
I know if my house catches on fire, it's gonna be an hour.
No, sir.
2 hours.
Jim, is that because you deleted the call?
Because of my name.
Jim, what's gonna be a job?
I'm just fortunate I was home.
I told my wife, I said, you ever call 911, use your maiden name, because when I'm coming, you use my name.
I'll be there greeting you with a
I bet you will. He'll put the fire hose right in my face. Hey, Jim, you look like you're on fire.
Do you have anything else for us, Brandy, tonight?
No, that's it.
Sorry, I had to step out, guys.
Hopefully everything's okay.
Family first.
Fine, I need to get my blood pressure
Just
checked
wait till
on
they
the
grow
way
up. Wait till they grow up, it gets worse.
Yep. Don't tell me.
They just borrow large amounts of money.
I'd rather have that. All right, can I have a meeting or a motion to
Motion
adjourn?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
So there is no meeting next week,
There's
right?
no meeting next week.